Coach, just talk a little bit about the excitement of getting ready to play this game against the Broncos. It's finally here after all this planning.
Yeah, each level of the season has different levels of excitement. You know, obviously spring, it's your time to get back together. Training camp, you come back, you're refreshed, it's off a break, everyone's ready to get the season started, get going, and then you get tired of beating each other up. You get into the preseason games, that changes the emotions a little bit, a little more excitement. And now when you kind of really narrow it down, you've got, an opening game schedule with an opponent coming in for, games where there's tangible results that are going to last on your record. Obviously, the intensity, the urgency, and the excitement goes up. Look, I'd say for the team and the coach as well, being in the stadium for the first time with fans in over a year, obviously there's a raised level of excitement. We got to do our best to make sure that we just play through the situations, play our game, and not get caught up in the adrenaline too early right there.
Coach, talk a little bit about the opponent because, we know the name Von Miller and we know the name Chubb, but we haven't seen them a lot together because one was injured when the other one's healthy. This will be their first time kind of bookends. Talk about some of the things that those guys bring.
Well, it's kind of like thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
You look on the left side and there's Chubb, and he's a powerful rusher. They both have great get-offs, but Chubb's going to play with a lot of power. He's going to beat you through your inside shoulder if you're not careful and you overset wide. He's got the speed to get your edge if you give him the opportunity to, but he's a power type guy. And Von Miller is just, look, he's a unicorn type of rusher. He's the kind of guy when you go in the draft and you talk to the scouts about what you're looking for, you almost want to tell them the Von Millers of the world, don't try and look for them because they don't really exist. But this guy is just an elite player. It's obviously a shame he was hurt last year. He gets a chance to be back out there. You really want all the best players in the league to be out there competing against everybody's players. But this guy off the edge is just a different level of athleticism and speed. And his instincts for when to either take you on the edge or get that vicious spin move coming back inside when you try to overplay the outside. This guy's he's a different animal himself.
Obviously with Teddy Bridgewater as their starting quarterback, this is a guy that has a resume in the league. He's played well over the course of his career. What are some of the things when you've looked at him over the years that stand out about him as a player?
I think dependable. When you watch this guy play, you can see why they went with him. Obviously, there's some other talented players on the roster. When you watch Bridgewater, he's a player that puts the other guys in position to make plays. He's dependable. He does use the backs very well in checkdowns. He's going to get the ball out, to safe completions. Now, he's got the arm to go ahead and rip that thing down the seam. He can still put it down the field, but he lets the plays come to him. And you've got to play a disciplined brand of football against Teddy because he can lull you to sleep. He can check down. You get overly aggressive against a check down, ball's going over your head. Now, he's still athletic enough that he can scramble and he can extend plays. But the biggest thing I think with him is he's very patient in the pocket. He's very disciplined, and he's tough to stick in there against a rush that he doesn't get rattled.
Coach, you got the team and the fans together for the first time. And you talked often about being a reflection of our community, our football community. What is it that this team should reflect when they take the field? What is the expectation?
Yeah, my expectation to reflect this area is being a hard-working team and a tough team. Those are the two things I think that when you turn on and you watch the Giants, you've got to see, regardless of results, that it comes across the screen that our team comes prepared. They work for 60 minutes, they play together, and mentally and physically, they are tough to put the team first. That sacrifice, that blue-collar mentality, that's how we work here, that's how we train, that's what we're breeding in here in terms of the identity of our team. So that's what I want to reflect for the area.
Coach, I just have one more question because obviously this is a very important weekend throughout the country and especially in the New York metropolitan area with the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. I know it's something that it's a chord that is struck with you as far as being in this area. Could you just talk a little bit about what it means to you?
I think when you think back 20 years of that day, I think everyone can kind of pinpoint where they were at that moment. And even we have guys on our team who were very, very young, to be honest with you, at that time, just at the age group. But I know for me personally, I grew up in the Northeast. New York was just down the street kind of per se from where I grew up. So it seemed very close to home because it was. At the time I was in college down south in Mississippi, I remember we were in the weight room working out as a team. It came across the radio. We really had no idea what was going on. I think the entire country, when you got outside this immediate area, everyone's kind of scrambling for answers and information to be accurate. I remember kind of going through the day of going through class, going through practice, and you're kind of looking the entire day for answers. But as you kind of sat back over the next, day or so, a couple of days and collected what was going on, you realized that, look, we had learned about Pearl Harbor in school. We weren't as connected to that generation because we weren't alive for it. When you think about 9/11, look, the reality is this is America. We don't get attacked. There's only a couple of times in our history, and this is obviously one of those times. And to me, I think back to how close the country came immediately, that, we put aside all differences and everyone focused on a common goal and the safety we had to do. I mean, me personally, my brother was one of those guys who right after 9/11 went out and signed up for the military, went in the Navy within days of 9/11. That obviously brought kind of me and my family a little bit closer to the situation of monitoring when he would be deployed and where he may go. A lot of friends and cousins of mine were overseas as well throughout the Iraq tours, the Afghanistan tours, all those different missions over the last 20 years. So when I think about 9/11, I think about that day specifically. I think about how it kind of shook the country. I think more about how it brought the country together. But then I think about over the last 20 years, how it's really shaped a lot of things in day-to-day life that we do differently.
Coach, we appreciate your thoughts, and we're looking forward to next week because we get you on the board and we get to break down plays, which I know is what you really love to do.
Yeah, I'd rather much do that than answer much questions.
Coach, good luck this week.
I appreciate it.